So it's been an incredibly warm spring, and I am ready to get into the soil and start planting plants. Right now I'm doing a little personal shopping for the big stock take planter that we're going to be doing later today. The family that is going to be planting this has some kids in their young teens, early teens, and maybe a little bit of a challenge as far as their palate for vegetables. So I'm picking out a few herbs, things that will go out early in our spring weather here that's so unpredictable. Things like rosemary and thyme. I've got some basil here, which will have to be covered if we get any frost. And then as far as some vegetables, some early vegetables, there's some spinach over here. And I like starting with spinach plants because the seed is a little challenging to germinate sometimes. So starting with plants, if you're new with this, is probably the way to go. I've also got some immediate gratification here with some early started lettuce, mixed lettuces, so they can use that with the spinach and the basil to make a nice salad. And then to throw in a little bit of candy for the kids, a couple of packs of strawberries here, so they can plant those around the edge of the planter and have strawberries during the summer. Other things that could be put in this spring would be to do some seeded things like some lettuce. You could also put in some radishes and some snap peas. All of these grow very, very easily from seed. We'll just seed them in amongst these other plants that we're putting in, and by the time these other plants get big, these seeds will be either mature and you'll pull the radishes or cut all the lettuce, and there'll be plenty of room for these other plants to grow. So for those of you planting peas and beans or any legume crop really, try to find some of this stuff called seed inoculant. And when you wet your pea seeds down or your bean seeds down before you plant them, you'll want to dust them with this stuff. It's a type of bacteria that grows on the roots and helps them grow better. You'll have a much better yield. Do this about every other year or so as you're planting legumes, and you'll see a big improvement in how they grow. This is what we're going to put in our big planter, big 6-foot raised bed stock tank type garden. If you don't have that kind of room, if you're on a deck or a small patio, something like that, and you only have room for a few small pots, you can still have a pot full of salad. And MJ and Luan are working on that right now.
We're at Tagawa Gardens Center, and one of my favorite gardeners is here joining us. Luan, how are you?
I'm well. I'm happy it's spring.
People are getting outside, and speak of being outside in Colorado, Colorado was just rated one of the healthiest states in the country once again.
Well deserved, and I think in large part that's because we eat properly.
And speaking of eating well, salads are a great way.
Great way. Healthy, lose weight, great stuff. This is the way a lot of people think of salad. This is the way we here at Tagawa's think of salad.
Love the idea of thinking about salads, and what I truly love is you have a whole variety of different size containers.
Right. We have this little basket here that is full of all kinds of lettuce, a little bit of parsley, perfect for somebody who doesn't have a lot of space but still wants to get their fingers in the soil. And look how pretty this is. It's all full of Asian greens. We actually let some of them flower. You could put them in a salad, stir fry, and it's gorgeous as a container. We are thinking big though today.
Big is good.
Big, abundanza. And this is the garden that I wanted to plant for you folks. And everything in here is edible, right? A lot of edible flowers, the pansies along the front. Make sure that they have not been treated with any insecticides.
Right.
We have some Swiss chard. We have parsley in the back. We have some more gourmet lettuce over here, basil, and a tomato in the middle. And there's a little secret with that tomato in the middle that I'll show you in a minute.
Fantastic. And what do you have in this last container?
Another small container, perfect for anybody with a little space who wants some of these gourmet lettuces. And you can snip them and they will come back, keep them near your door in a nice sunny place, and they will give you a little bit of salad all summer long.
All right, now I don't like being teased, so you got to tell me about the tomato.
All right. Everything in here plays together well. Needs the same kind of temperature, same kind of water. But these things can take, these outer things, the chard and the pansies, can take cold temperatures and cool nights. The tomato and the basil, not so much.
Not at all.
So what we have done is we have saved them a parking place. We actually have pots holding a space for these. When the rest of the pot gets big enough and the temperatures get warm enough, we simply put the tomato with its compostable cover in there. We put the basil in its little parking space that has been preserved, tidy up the soil, good to go. Bring on the basil.
What I love is this is available for anybody, whether you have a small apartment balcony or you have a large back patio and you want to add some great foliage and texture. But we're going to be building some even larger containers, and we're going to show you how you can take all of these plants and put them in even larger stock tanks.
Hi, this is Chef Mick from Tony's Markets. Today we're going to make a Tuscan T-bone steak with a nice garlicky sauteed spinach, so don't go away.